Hey, how's it going, Joes and Joettes? This is Josh from Books by Josh, and I would like to welcome you to episode number 29 of the Books by Josh show. This week's episode is titled Communication is Key. But why? So, what inspired this episode of the Books by Josh audio immersion? A lot of things, honestly. But the most recent thing is tomorrow. Not tomorrow as in the future, I'm talking about actually tomorrow, Monday. So it's Sunday right now, June 3rd. And they recently changed my schedule in my normal, I call it 9 to 5, but I don't work 9 to 5. So my normal schedule on Mondays for my job is to work 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Even though I get there around 10:02, 10:15, 11. But now my new schedule is 9:30 to 8 p.m. Why? Because of communication. No, I'm not talking about them communicating, hey, come in at this time. No, because we're having our weekly meetings now every single Monday at 9:30 a.m. Because when we have them on Mondays traditionally, they never happen because we get busy. And thus we have lower performing numbers than we should have when we have the meetings as opposed to when we don't have the meeting. So when we have the meetings, we are more productive. This is why they changed the schedule. Now everyone has to be there at 9:30 a.m. And it's because of communication. See the segue? But I had this topic before I seen the schedule because I saw the schedule yesterday. This topic's been in my notes for about a week and a half because communication is so important in life, business, entrepreneurship, school, whatever topic or field you're in. If you're not communicating, you're not growing, you're not producing. How so? Well, as I said in my personal experience in my job, when we don't have the meeting, we're less productive than when we do have the meeting, when everybody's on the same page, with promotions, where our numbers are, things of that nature. And in school, if you don't listen to a professor, guess what? You're not going to do well on the test. Prime example, Mr. Baldwin, junior year high school. I read the books and did the test. Whenever I did the test based on my own opinions, I got 30s. Because it's two expository essays with the test. Yep, he gave us a list of topics, 5 to 7 topics, and we had to pick 2 and write 2 different essays within the period. Then when he gave us a tale of 2 cities, I tested my theory. I just listened the whole time. Took notes, listened. Never opened up the book. Read the first line. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Just like in a cartoon show from the 90s. I think it was Hey Arnold. And guess what? When I took the test for that book, I got a 90. So I had the topics beforehand. Somebody gave it to me. Nope. Because I gave him what he wanted to hear. Because I listened to him from his communication. Hey, Josh, that sounds fine and dandy in your job or school. But in business, it doesn't make no sense. Not everyone needs to communicate for work. Oh, that's true. Or is it? Because Kevin Hart did a book review of him on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to upload it here also. But Kevin Hart lost millions of dollars because his business manager wasn't communicating with him. How wasn't he communicating with him? He never told Kevin, hey, by the way, you're not saying you're signing any money for taxes. They don't take taxes on your checks. He didn't say that. So Kevin Hart thought they took the money out of his checks because that's what all of us are conditioned to know. Conditioned to believe that they take the money out of each check because being an employee, your taxes are taken out. Being a business owner or a 1099 employee, you got to pay your taxes at the end of the year. You have to claim your taxes and pay it, and he owed back taxes. Millions of dollars. So he fired his business manager. So one little mistake like that cost Kevin Hart millions because there was no communication. Once again, communication is key. Marriage counseling. What is it? It's communicating. It's somebody mediating a conversation between spouses. It's $1 million industry. They get paid hundreds of dollars per session to listen and consult and give advice based on that. But The problem in a lot of relationships is the lack of communication. Think about it. Sometimes one spouse comes home and sits down, watches TV, is exhausted from work. I know work is tiring, but then if the other spouse has been home all day with the kids or attending to the house, they get upset because the one that came home from work isn't doing anything in the house. It's like Tony Robbins says in the beginning of relations, you're doing everything. You take out the garbage before being told you're doing all the dishes. You're doing everything, but towards the end of the relationship, you're not doing anything. One person said take out the trash, and you're like, okay, later, and under your breath, like, well, I'll take you out, stuff like that. That's from Tony Robbins. But that's the whole thing. If you treat every relationship like it's a beginning, it'll never end. So what does that mean? Communicate. Show affection, but mainly communicate. Talk to each other. Think about it. Cuddling, all that. You're talking. You know? You're getting to know the person when you start dating. You're getting to know the person, their interests, what they like, what they want to do, their hopes, their dreams, their passions. Yet, towards the end, you guys don't communicate. You're one person be in one room watching another one be in another room. You guys can barely stand each other. Different rooms. Because you're not communicating. So let's go back with other topic, friendship. Let's be honest. How many of us still talk to friends from high school? College? Previous jobs? It's not that many. Talked about this before, but we lose connection. We can't keep in touch. My brother was talking to me about my friends in Hawaii that I haven't spoken to in years. And with the whole earthquake, the volcano and everything, he's like, have you communicated? No. Lost touch. And why? We had the power of social media, which is the next segue, but listen to this. It just takes 2 seconds to reach out. Because we're forgetting how to communicate. We don't understand that communication is key. And guess what? Businesses have started to understand this, which is why they started doing the surveys years ago. Remember when I was working for Sprint in 2008 and we got paid on the customer service surveys, which was the post about the other day about how you can't please everyone. And I'm getting paid on these surveys or commission. The company did that because they knew communication was key. So they want to hear back from the clientele. And if the clients were happy, they were more likely to spend money. So they gave back money to the employees through this commission check. So that's why you see, hey, fill out the survey and you can win a coupon. Or fill out the survey and get free burger, free fries for fast food. Why? Because they want to hear. Prime example is McDonald's. Remember I had McDonald's about 8 months ago from one on 42nd Street and I want to say 3rd, 4th Ave. By Grand Central. I went in and I ordered food. I didn't eat there because it was 1 in the morning almost. And guess what? I got on the train. I'm looking through my food. Every single piece of food was wrong. Talk about no sauce with the nuggets. Messed up my fries order. And messed up my McFlurry. I ordered Oreo McFlurry. There's slight Oreos on the top, nothing in the middle. Not the healthiest meal, but I'm being honest here. And what did I do? I went on and did the survey. I got reached out to by a manager or whatever, PR person, in regards to, hey, you had this bad experience. Do you want us to get you a free meal? Same thing, blah, blah, blah. I go, no. It's not about the food. It's about the bad customer service. And this is why communication is key. Because when I was in retail for Sprint and we got bad service, we had a meeting with the district manager on why we did so poorly. Every month we had to go in. So, prime example, customer had liquid damage on their phone. I got a bad survey because there's nothing I could do. And I sat there and it's why did you get a bad experience? hey, this is why. There was a catch-22. It was a lose-lose for me, but this shows you the power. If a company communicates with its clientele or listens, how powerful it can be, because they change everything. Which is why Apple's so great, because they listen to you. They let you talk and vent. They sit down one-to-one and have a conversation. It's not like there's a boundary. Like when you go to, let's just say, McDonald's again. There's a boundary. There's a cashier. There's a table boundary, stuff like that. And that's the whole thing. There's a boundary between you and the employee. Apple, they wanted to feel homely. So they sit there with you on the table. They come sit you down, they talk to you, understand your problems, and they communicate with you, which is why I want to do this episode, because communication goes further than even this. Communication is essential for anything. Social media, I said it was a segue. Let me touch on that now. Social media is so powerful. Before social media, if you hated a movie or a business did you wrong, what would you do? You'd tell your friends, hey, don't go to this store, they're crooks. Hey, don't go see this movie, it's bad. You'll save one or two people from this business, and the business like, oh, I don't care, it's only one or two people, son. But guess what? With the power of social media, one tweet, even if you have a small following, maybe you only have 100 followers on Twitter, but guess what? Those 100 followers have their own followers. And those followers have their own followers. You understand? So, recent trend, Save Lucifer, which is a show that was canceled recently on Fox about the devil being a detective of the DC comic Sandman. But it's a phenomenon because it's the first time a show's been canceled. So much backlash has come above because the fans are communicating they want the show back. They don't care who picks up, they just want to watch it. And that's the power of social media for communication. If a business cheats someone, it's going to snowball. Look at the whole thing with Bill Cosby. One person spoke up, then another, because communication. Once one person speaks out, right now in the year 2018, it affects millions of people. People hear about it. And that's why social media right now is driving businesses. Just like how Google AdWords drove Amazon to become Amazon, Wish made so much money because of Facebook ads. People buy so much stuff off Wish that they're a big store now, online shopping, because of all that money they put into Facebook ads when they were cheap. Communication. You have to learn how to communicate with your audience. I communicate through this. I talk, you guys listen. You see me on the street, say hello, I'll talk to you in person. And that's the whole thing. All businesses do is communicate with clients in one form or another through a product. Just looking around, this Fiji bottle. I never want to talk to them, so I can't. But they communicate their message on the back of this bottle. It literally says Fiji water comes from a sustainable ancient aquifer deep within the earth on the island of Fiji. It has the whole story. It bottled at the source, natural pressure forces the water towards a sealed delivery system directly into the bottle, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Guess what that means? They're communicating their story. Why you should buy this water. I don't think I've ever seen an advertisement for Fiji, but guess what? It communicates why this water is so great. Right there, it tells you pH level is communication in one form or another. Guess what? Look, I pick up this case from one of my phones, OtterBox. What is OtterBox communicating? It's not a waterproof case, really, because I don't have the waterproof line here, but OtterBox has lifetime warranty on all their products. So if something happens, you can reach out to them and send you another one. Sometimes you pay shipping. But it's a brand. And as a brand, you can go online and communicate with them through social media. But bad communication hurts. And one form of bad communication, MoviePass. I love MoviePass to death because I use it so often. But I had an issue a while back when the Tomb Raider movie came out, the recent one, which was when I had jury duty about 2-3 months ago. And guess what? Now they reached out to me through the app. At that point, request ticket. 3 months later, bad communication. I called them to rectify the issue, but why are you reaching out to me now? 3 months later, bad communication. And as we see, the stock's plummeting, losing money, but bad business idea, but great for consumers. That's the whole thing, bad communication. You don't want a response 20 years later. You want a response now. PayPal, prime example. I had an issue with PayPal a couple years ago. Email support, got no answer. I didn't want to hold for hours while I was working. So what did I do? I went to Twitter and reached out to PayPal, and within minutes they got back to me. No people that have reached out to companies, keyboard company Razer, defective product, got a replacement sent to them at no cost with additional items. That's the whole thing I want everybody to take out of this episode is you need to communicate. It can be with your spouse, with your friends, with your boss. Get on the same page, but communicate. Because if you don't communicate, you're wasting one of our biggest skills, the ability to speak. Not all animals can speak. We can, and we can understand each other. Guess what? We can speak to anyone who doesn't speak the same language through social media and Google Translator. That's the age we live in. So open your mouth and talk. But remember one thing. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen twice as much as you speak. Later, guys.